Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you guys are having a great Friday. So yesterday I didn't do a video. I tried doing a video. I recorded the video twice actually, but Apple Computer had an update. I did the update, and afterwards my voice sounded like a futuristic robot. So that didn't work. Obviously I had to figure out what's wrong with it and figured it out. So we're recording it today, and today I'm feeling a little bit under the weather. I actually came home to work and slept for like 4 hours, so I'm recording this pretty late. So it's gonna be out around like 10, 11 o'clock at night. So I do apologize for that. But let's get into what we do have here today. We got Cleanspark news. They reached 10 exahash. And then we also we'll take a look at the Bitcoin miners to see which ones are being shorted the most now. Has the short basically increased or decreased for them from the last time we did this, which was about a month ago. And then we'll also take a look at the Bitcoin network as far as where the Bitcoin miners compare to the overall Bitcoin network. What's the percentage that they have right now of that? All right, but as always, you guys know the drill here. This is not financial advice for entertainment only. Please do your own research. I'm invested in the following coins and companies for full disclosure. And it would mean a lot to me if you guys would hit the like button, subscribe, and that would definitely help out the channel a lot. So let's get into the first story that we do have here, which is obviously going to be here on Cleanspark. And here it is. So Cleanspark reaches a rare Bitcoin mining milestone at 10 exahash, which is true. You got Bitcoin, you got Marathon in there, you got Riot in there as well. You also have Core Scientific in there as well. And then you got BitDeer, if you include their hosting and everything else, they're over 10 exahash, closer to 20 exahash. So they're definitely in a pretty rare club there. And this is actually pretty good. And here's what they're doing. So Cleanspark today announced it has surpassed a total hash rate of 10 exahash per second, reaching a milestone that few publicly traded Bitcoin mining companies have ever achieved, which is correct. The company has increased its hash rate by nearly 50% in the last 5 months alone and is more than halfway to its planned capacity of 16 exahash, right? We know this is going to be a little bit delayed because of the power company stating that they're going to not plug in or connect the lines until sometime after January or after December, actually. So sometime in the new year, hopefully we'll be within the first couple of months that gets done. And then Cleanspark recent incremental growth comes with a combination of software optimizations and fleet improvements. Operational teams are swapping out older ASICs for newer, more efficient Antminer XPs. Cleanspark's fleet-wide efficiency is estimated to be 27.8 joules per terahash. So that's actually pretty good there. So why don't we just take a quick look at what they actually did here. Based on my assumptions here as far as what could have been removed. So I did remove, looks like here in October, I removed a lot of the older miners. So like the 95 terahash miners that are here, we got the 98, 96, we got the 88. Those are definitely gonna be gone for sure. And we also have the 86 miners here as well. So those are all pretty much gone. And then we installed approximately 11,200 of the Antminer S19 XPs. That got us to the 10 exahash here for the month of October. Now, I don't know when that actually came through. We obviously have, about 6 days left in the month, or not even that. It's going to be less than that. Where are we at here? 27th, we got like 4 days left in the month. So I put it in as 10, possibly of days where they were mining at 10 exahash. And we're looking at about 17.1 million right now with the Bitcoin average price so far in the month. So that is an increase over last month. And then obviously we should see a better result going forward, depending where Bitcoin goes into next month, where we have about 19 million in revenue. So that's pretty exciting news there. And hopefully they can continue to improve and get miners installed and get the sites energized as they need to. All right. So as you guys know, I'm invested in them. So I'm definitely rooting for them to do well. And this is definitely another step in the evidence of how they have performed over the last 2 years, growing tremendously here. Okay. All right. Next, let's take a look at the Bitcoin miners shorted here. So if we look at the spreadsheet here that we have, here we go, shorted. We got a couple of charts here. We got current number of shares shorted, percentage of shares shorted, and then the untitled one is actually, I should have titled this, but it's just comparing their market cap to their value of shorted shares, okay? So the first one we'll go through is the current number of shares shorted. So Marathon has the most here at 50 million, followed by Riot at 35 million, almost 36. Then you got Hut 8 with 24, followed by TeraWolf at 23, and then you got Cypher with 12 million, and then you could possibly get Cleanspark in there at 11.3, followed by Bit Digital, and then we go down to Bitfarms and Hive and all the rest as they go down. Percentage of shares shorted, so you got Marathon with 24% shares shorted, Riot with 19.33, Bit Digital with 13, Hut 8 with 10, almost 11, TeraWolf with 10.4, Cleanspark with 7.4, Cypher at 4.8, Hive with 4.6, Bitfarms with 2.9, Iris Energy with 1.9, and the list goes down below that. So miners have definitely been getting shorted here quite a bit here, especially as we get closer into the halving event. All right, and then here you can see the charts as far as what the value is of the number of shares being shorted here compared to their market cap. You can definitely see that Marathon is obviously being shorted the most here, followed by Riot, and possibly who else is next in here? We could possibly say maybe Hut 8 even. So we'll take a look at the numbers here. So here's a difference from last month, how much the number of shares increased or decreased from the prior month. We got Marathon's actually down 1 million. Riot is up 5.1 million. BitDigital is only up 68,000. Hut 8 is up 9.9, almost 10 million extra shares being shorted here. Not sure why that is. I wonder if that's because of the merger happening here with them. We're obviously going to have the conversion of shares and everything else when that does go through. I'm still waiting to hear when that actually happens. Hopefully it happens here in the next month or so, but we'll see. Maybe they'll do that before the end of the year and then just start the whole new year out being as one company with the USBTC. You got TeraWolf being up 3.2 million, Cleanspark 1.5, Cypher is actually down 113,000, Hive is up 211,000, Bitfarms is up 1.2, almost 1.3, Iris Energy is up 658,000, Mawson is up 19.4 thousand. Sphere is actually down 60.9 thousand. They've been beaten down quite a bit, so I think the shorts are kind of like done with them. Looks like Argo was only up 1,882. DMG and Core Sentiment, we don't have any data for them. The service that I use, Webull, does not have any data on those guys, so they're where they are right now. Okay, and down here we got the table, and here we can see the percentage of what that has changed from the prior month. So Marathon is down 2%, Riot is up 16%, BitDigital is up 0.62, Hut 8 is up 70%. That's a huge increase there. TeraWolf is up 16.5, Cleanspark is up 15%. So they're obviously the ones that are up are getting shorted more. CleanCypher is down 0.9, Hive is up 5.7, Bitfarms is up 20%, Iris Energy here is up 107%. I think that is mainly because of their, well, they said they want to get to 30 exahash. They have a plan to get there, excuse me, and they have I believe they're going to be diluting possibly that much. We don't know. They said they're going to use, obviously, their capital that they're currently generating, and they're going to use cash along with dilution here. So I think that's maybe why we're seeing a huge increase in the number of shares being shorted for Iris Energy. Mawson up 25%, Sphere 3D down 60%, DigiHost down 14%, and Argo up 2.89%. Okay, so that's it. Let me know what you guys think of this. Let me know if you guys are shorting any of these guys here going into the halving event. As we get closer to that, we have seen it in the past. At least one cycle that we have seen it is the last cycle. The miners were actually going down in price while Bitcoin was going up. So I can see why people are maybe shorting them a little bit more. But we do have the Bitcoin spot ETF possibly being approved here in the next couple months. That could throw a wrench to the shorters here as well. So that's something to be mindful of as well. All right, so that's it for that one. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin network hash rate compared to the Bitcoin miners here. So this is a network hash rate comparison to publicly traded Bitcoin miners combined hash rate. So each month I combine the hash rate of all the miners, and then we compare it to the Bitcoin network hash rate when it ended in that month. So September we ended with 407 exahash for Bitcoin network in general. The miners that we track here ended up at 104 exahash, which is quite substantial. It represents about 25% or something like that of the total network, which is quite a bit. And then you can see here month over month public Bitcoin hash rate increases, decreases versus Bitcoin network. So we saw a pretty big increase in the network hash rate, Bitcoin, and the miners only increased 1.5x exahash. So the Bitcoin network increased 17. So a lot of other miners that we are not tracking added quite a bit here to the network compared to the Bitcoin miners that we do track here. And you can see that we've seen this before. We've seen it in March of this year. We saw it also quite a bit here in February and January. And then prior to that, we saw it in last year in September. And we saw it also in April, and we saw it also in February. We've seen it where the network actually went down compared to the miners actually increasing, or barely increasing here a couple of times as well. So I would expect to see that happening in after the halving event. Excuse me. All right, and then here's the public miners percentage of Bitcoin network hash rate of the last basically 2 years almost. Starting in January of 2022, they were at 16%. They ended up here in September of 25.8%. It is a little bit of a decrease here from 26.5, but not that bad. We've seen this before where we decrease and then we continue to go back up. So we'll just keep an eye on this, right? One of the reasons why we want to track this is to see if nation states are, pouring tons of money into Bitcoin miners, getting a bunch of miners installed and running up the network hash rate and making it painful for some of these public traded miners that we do cover here. All right. And then going down here, month over month hash rate increase and decrease. This is obviously on the miner side of things. How much they've been increasing each month. We've obviously seen good months here in August of last year and October as well, and January of this year, April, and then over the last 6, 7, 8 months or so, we've averaged about, I would say probably, what is that, about 5% or so on average, 5 to 5.5, something like that. So it's still really good increase in the network hash rate added by the miners themselves. Okay, so that's it there. Let's take a look at Bitcoin really quick, see what's going on there as well, and we'll call it a day. And as always, these spreadsheets will be available to my Patreon members. The link is down in the description and video description for each video. So you guys can have access to that. It's only $5 a month on that. So I think it's a pretty good value on that. Coffee costs more, I think, right now for premium coffee. So let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin right now has been down the last 2 days. We're in the new day here, basically into Saturday now. And Bitcoin's up a little bit here, just barely. But we're at 33,921. We'll see how it goes going forward. We also saw the NASDAQ come down to a low that it hasn't been to before since, when was it, February, March of this year. So we've had a huge retracement in the NASDAQ as well. And then Bitcoin has done pretty well, actually, this year. It's up, well, I don't know if it's still 100%, but it's pretty close to 100% being up this year to date. Okay, so that's not too bad. The miners, on the other hand, had more easy day today, I would say. Not as bad as it was yesterday. Yesterday was a pretty bad day for the miners. But overall, I think for this week, it's going to be, let's take a look at the weekly here really quick on these. It looks like, I did it. There we go. So it looks like any Sphere 3D is going to be down on the week. They finished out the week down. Argo is going to be actually up on the week. Bit Digital is going to be down. BitDeer was going to be down, up as well. Bitfarms is going to be up. Cypher is going to be up. Cleanspark is going to be up just barely. I mean, you can see that huge wick there on them. They did really good here in the beginning of the week. And the prices obviously came down. Cores is going to be up on the week. DigiHost is also going to be up. Also another huge wick candle there. DMG, same thing. Greenwich, same thing. Hive is actually going to be down. Hut 8 is going to be up. Iris Energy is going to be up just barely. Marathon is going to be up for the week. Mawson is going to be up for the week. Riot is going to be up for the week. Another big wick there as well. And then Soluna is going to be up just barely there. And Stronghold is going to be down for the week. And then Wolf is going to be up for the week. So it looks like we're having more of a better week here for the miners. Some of the miners at least. Majority of the miners, I would say. And we'll see how this goes forward. Right, we still have a long ways to go. There's no end in sight as far as when we're going to get the Bitcoin ETF. When that happens, spot Bitcoin ETF. And we got the halving event. So it could be a pretty perfect storm for Bitcoin to possibly jump higher here in the next couple months. I would say maybe in the next 7, 8 months or so. Right as we get into the halving event, if we get the spot Bitcoin ETF, and then inflation, things like that. If the Fed starts easing as well, it could be like a perfect storm for Bitcoin to have a nice rally. So got to be patient in this, unfortunately. It's the part of the game, I guess you could say. And we're just going to be patient, hold it out, dollar cost average in as best we can. And we'll get through this on the other side in a much better position. Okay, so you just got to be patient. Other than that, let me know what you guys think of all of this stuff. Pin me down in the comments below. Love chatting with you guys there. And we'll see what happens over the weekend. If I get really sick where I can't do a video, we won't do a video. If I'm feeling fine and there's some news or some data we can pull, we'll do that as well. And we'll call it a day. All right, so I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Hope you have a wonderful Friday night. Enjoy it out there while the weather's still possibly nice in your area. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, bye.